Well, there are three things I want to talk about here. And first thing is the lighting. Uh, Several times I have been asked, what kind of lights do I have? So I'm actually going to go to a little extra effort to show you exactly what I use. And I want to say right off the bat, I do not recommend getting these. These are lights that I got when I was downstairs at my workshop that I could, I could come in and focus right in on the lathe or the saw, or they can easily be mounted on stands. I have a total of 7 LED lights, 6 that are like this, and this one here is a bit of a spotlight. Okay, don't get these if you're thinking of setting up lighting for your workbench. I'm just using them because I had them. This whole monstrosity that I've got set up here in the middle of my living room. I live alone, so I can get away with stuff like this. I just used the lights because I had them. If I was to do it all again, I probably would go to Home Depot and I would get some LED shop lights. It'd be a lot cheaper and it would work just almost as well. Except that I can move these around and change where they're shining down onto. The other thing I wanted to talk about, or other two things, was about an hour ago I was watching Nigel's Workbench, and his latest episode that he did yesterday, it just came out. He talks about Aussie Trekkie a little bit, but he doesn't know anything more than I know. But that's sure too bad. I was looking forward to seeing Scott is his name. I was looking forward to Scott putting the wooden decking on the hood. I was kind of, even though I'm not going to do it, I wanted to see how he was going to do it. So, maybe he'll go back up again. I don't know. I hope he does. Anyway, the other thing I got out of Nigel's Workbench show. Oh boy, I should really redo this. This is I'm having a hard time concentrating. Anyway, Nigel was talking about advertising, and he was saying how some of his viewers were complaining about the fact that there was advertising popping up in the middle of his episodes. I think he mentioned as much as 13 times. No, I'd have to re-listen to it. You listen to it. And anyway, do you get advertising popping up in the middle of my episodes? You shouldn't, because I do not allow advertising. I'm not into the money part of it. As little as small as it might be. You will never hear me say, please like or subscribe. I just don't care about that. I'm just having fun with the videoing and the modeling or the workshop down in the basement. Directly below all of this is my workshop, the main part of it. In fact, the table saw that you have often seen is probably right about here if I was to drop straight down. Okay, so there was just the three things, the lights, the advertising, and Aussie Trekkie. Now let's get back and get some of our little parts here stuck on the turntable and get into spraying. Now we will eventually get at this spraying. However, remember yesterday I was talking about, I was wondering why it was so hard to be scraping the tape off of the block. Well, I remembered later what we had done differently, and that was I had put tape on each one, like ordinary masking tape, like this, okay, and then we had put our little piece of double-sided tape on top of that. then it was actually quite easy to later remove the whole thing. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I guess it's because like almost a year since we were doing a whole lot of this on the Bismarck. Well, in some ways it seems like a year, in some ways it seems like yesterday. Anyway, to spraying. Okay, before we get going here, I think I'm going to thin out our 66 just a little tiny bit more. I shouldn't have to use 25 pounds of pressure. Either that or there's something wrong with my airbrush. Just a little bit here. That's probably a half a milliliter. You want to remember that this is already down slightly, so no, I don't want to get it too thin either, otherwise it's going to be having a tendency to want to run down the sides of the part. Okay, I'm just going to go shake that up now. Okay, I'm all shook up. Don't expect an album out anytime soon. However, I'm going to explain what I want to do here before I put the fan on, and then I can't hear myself think. So the idea will be, I will move in eventually, even with the macro lens, and we'll be able to see some of these little ones being painted. Got to stop singing here and concentrate on what I'm doing. If I pour it like this, I should get the least amount of stuff running down the side. The pressure is at about, I'm guessing 22. Excuse me, my voice is going on me here. Now, are we going to get anything? Well, let's boost our pressure. Is our nozzle tight here? Is everything tight? Yeah. Alright, let's boost the pressure some more. That seems to work alright. And we'll get our fan going. These ones here I don't want to do too heavy because they'll fill in the little grill work. Okay, let's readjust and move in a bit here. So I've had this airbrush now for what, a year and a half or so, and I've used it many, many times. And it's acting really strange. It's giving me problems like I've never had before. Now, I don't see any damage to the nozzle, or the end of the nozzle for my airbrush here, but to my surprise, I'm seeing paint on the very end of it that did not dissolve. And I thought I'd cleaned this out pretty good. Like, if I go like this, I can actually see down through the little hole. So I know I got the inside, which is the main thing. But I'm surprised that I didn't get the paint on the outside, on the very tip dissolved. I'm seeing gray paint there. So I guess it must have dried, and I didn't leave it in the solution long enough. So we'll leave it in the what I believe is the better of the solutions I use, and I'll just let it soak in there. But I do think I found out the problem, why I was having so much trouble. In fact, I'm about 99% sure I know what happened. So let me check the end of the needle here. I think it's okay, but just in case. Oh yeah, it's fine. If there's anything wrong, you'd see it with this. Now, here's what I think was wrong. I'll sort of put this thing back together, and then I'll show you. Okay, I had a bit of a pleasant surprise happen here a little while ago. I had unexpected company come over. So once again, we're not going to get quite as much done here. And I found out what went wrong. Why was I having so much problem here? Anyway, when I was trying to get the nozzle cleaned off there with the toothbrush and what have you, I thought, okay, maybe if I back flush. So I did the usual back flush thing, and the bubbles weren't coming up, and I thought, oh my goodness, do I ever have a clog? So I'm looking at the front here, and I'm going back and forth like this, and I'm noticing that the needle doesn't seem to be coming out of the nozzle, pulling back out of the nozzle. And so I unscrew this and I check, and here this was loose. I guess the last time I put this together, see, it's supposed to go all the way in, and then you tighten this down. And I guess the last time I didn't tighten it down. So it was kind of working. Anyway, once I fixed it, then the problem was solved. It worked great. Now I lost a little bit of time because I had to clean it out and then, pour the paint back in and start all over again. Anyway, we're going to have to wait until tomorrow now to take a good look at these things. They're more than dry because it was quite a while ago that we painted this. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. And to the person who came over and just had coffee with me now, thanks for coming over. Yeah, they'll probably watch the video tonight, I hope. Anyway, Thanks for watching, folks. And all being well, we will see you tomorrow.